NEC Article 300.11 addresses the installation of conductors and states that conductors, including insulated conductors, shall not be installed in direct contact with the earth or in contact with other metal objects unless that contact is part of the intended and identified function of the installation. NEC Article 348 covers gas pipes but does not specifically address the attachment of electrical conduit to gas pipes. The National Electrical Code does not provide a clear, direct answer about suspending electrical conduit from a gas line. However, several factors need consideration when making this determination. Firstly, consider the gas line material. If the gas line is black pipe, it is less likely to be galvanized. Galvanized pipe in contact with certain metals can create a corrosion issue, so the absence of galvanization is a positive factor. Secondly, the control voltage is 110 volts. This voltage level is relatively low, which inherently reduces the risk of electrical shock compared to higher voltage systems. Thirdly, the intention to use back-to-back minis is a relevant detail. These connectors are designed to create a secure attachment between the conduit and the gas pipe. Based on these factors, it could be reasonable to assume that suspending the control conduit from the gas line is potentially compliant with the NEC. However, this is not a definitive determination. It is always best practice to consult with the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, for a final ruling on the specific installation. The AHA has the ultimate authority to interpret and enforce the NEC. In addition to consulting the AHA, several precautions should be taken. 1. Ensure that the conduit is securely attached to the gas line using the back-to-back minis or other appropriate listed hangers designed for the application. Proper securement is crucial to prevent the conduit from becoming dislodged or causing stress in the gas line. 2. Use a conduit material that is compatible with the gas line material. For example, using PVC conduit for a black iron gas pipe might be a suitable choice because there is no direct contact between dissimilar metals. Avoid direct contact between dissimilar metals wherever possible. 3. Avoid placing any undue stress on the gas line or the conduit. The installation should not create any strain on either the gas line or the conduit system. Ensure that the supports are adequate to handle the weight of the conduit and its contents, and that the gas line is not being subjected to excessive load. Review NEC Articles 300.4 regarding protection against physical damage, 314 regarding junction and pull boxes and conduit bodies, and 352 regarding rigid polyvinyl chloride conduit, if applicable. Consider using appropriate straps to secure the conduit. Check the listing information for the straps used to secure the conduit for proper application. Consider using split ring hangers and appropriate clamps for securing the conduit. When selecting clamps, ensure they are suitable for the conduit material and the gas pipe material to prevent corrosion or damage. Be aware of any local codes or regulations that may apply to the installation. Local codes may have additional requirements or restrictions beyond those specified in the NEC. Ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified personnel. Only qualified and licensed electricians should perform electrical work to ensure safety and compliance with codes. Ground the conduit properly according to NEC requirements. Grounding is essential to protect against electrical shock hazards. Consider using a separate support system for the conduit. Instead of attaching the conduit directly to the gas line, consider installing a separate support system such as trapeze hangers or strut to support the conduit independently. This can eliminate the potential for stress on the gas line and ensure a more secure installation. Maintain proper clearance between the conduit and other objects. Ensure that there is sufficient clearance between the conduit and any other objects, such as pipes, ducts, or structural members, to allow for maintenance and prevent damage. Use appropriate fittings and connectors. Use only fittings and connectors that are listed and labeled for the specific type of conduit being used. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Inspect the installation regularly. Periodically inspect the installation to ensure that the conduit is still securely attached, that there are no signs of corrosion or damage, and that the gas line is in good condition. Address any issues promptly. Use a torque wrench to tighten connections. To ensure proper tightness of connections, use a calibrated torque wrench to tighten screws and bolts to the manufacturer's specified torque values. This can help prevent loose connections and potential electrical hazards. Protect the conduit from physical damage. Install the conduit in a location where it is not likely to be subjected to physical damage from impact or abrasion. If necessary, provide additional protections such as conduit guards or barriers. Consider using flexible conduit for connections to equipment. Flexible conduit can help to absorb vibrations and movement, reducing stress on the conduit system and the gas line. Use corrosion-resistant materials. In corrosive environments, use conduit, fittings, and connectors made from corrosion-resistant materials such as stainless steel or PVC-coated steel. This can help to extend the life of the installation and prevent electrical hazards. Install a bonding jumper between the conduit and the gas line. To ensure electrical continuity, install a bonding jumper between the conduit and the gas line. This can help to prevent voltage differences and reduce the risk of electrical shock. Use a multimeter to verify proper grounding. After completing the installation, use a multimeter to verify that the conduit is properly grounded and that there are no voltage differences between the conduit and other grounded metal objects. Label the conduit clearly. Label the conduit clearly to indicate its purpose and voltage. This can help to prevent accidental contact with the conduit and ensure that it is properly maintained. Keep records of the installation. Keep accurate records of the installation, including drawings, specifications, and inspection reports. This information can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Consider using a qualified electrical engineer for the design and installation. For complex or critical installations, consider using a qualified electrical engineer to design and oversee the installation. An electrical engineer can ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and standards and that it is safe and reliable. Consult with the gas company. Before making any modifications to the gas line, consult with the gas company to ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with their requirements. Provide strain relief for the control wires inside the conduit. Secure the control wires properly at both ends of the conduit run. Consider the weight and support requirements for the conduit. Ensure that the support system is adequate to handle the weight of the conduit and its contents, and that the gas line is not being subjected to excessive load. Consider using a different routing for the conduit. If possible, consider using a different routing for the conduit that does not involve attaching it to the gas line. This can eliminate the potential for stress on the gas line and ensure a more secure installation. Inspect the gas line for leaks before and after the installation. Before and after attaching the conduit to the gas line, inspect the gas line for leaks using a gas leak detector. If any leaks are detected, repair them immediately. Do not use the gas line as a grounding electrode. The gas line should not be used as a grounding electrode for the electrical system. Use a separate grounding electrode as required by the NEC. Be aware of the potential for condensation inside the conduit. In damp or humid environments, condensation can form inside the conduit, which can lead to corrosion and electrical problems. To prevent condensation, consider using a conduit sealant or installing a drain fitting at the lowest point of the conduit run. Use caution when working near energized electrical equipment. When working near energized electrical equipment, use caution and follow all safety procedures to prevent electrical shock. To energize the equipment if possible before starting work. Ensure that all personnel working on the installation are properly trained and qualified. Only qualified and trained personnel should work on the installation to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Use appropriate personal protective equipment. When working on the installation, use appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses, gloves, and a hard hat to protect yourself from injury. Follow all safety procedures and regulations. Follow all safety procedures and regulations when working on the installation to prevent accidents and injuries. Keep the work area clean and organized. Keep the work area clean and organized to prevent tripping hazards and ensure that the work is done safely and efficiently. Dispose of waste materials properly. Dispose of waste materials properly according to local regulations. Do not leave waste materials lying around the work area. Have a fire extinguisher nearby. Have a fire extinguisher nearby in case of a fire. Be prepared to use the fire extinguisher if necessary. Know the location of the nearest emergency exit. Know the location of the nearest emergency exit in case of an emergency. Be prepared to evacuate the area if necessary. Have a first aid kit available. Have a first aid kit available in case of an injury. Be prepared to administer first aid if necessary. Report any accidents or injuries immediately. Report any accidents or injuries immediately to the appropriate authorities. Investigate accidents and injuries to prevent future occurrences. By considering all of these factors and taking the necessary precautions, the installation can be done safely and in compliance with the NEC and other applicable codes and regulations. Remember that this information is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or engineer for specific recommendations based on the individual circumstances.